Hey folks, it's Lev. Welcome back to another video. For those of you who are new, I use him pronouns. I'm literally filming this video at like 12:10 a.m. but it doesn't matter because I just have thoughts on my mind and I really want to get it out. It's like a documentation for me and I'm just putting it out there in case it can help someone else. Today I just wanted to talk about reflection and pressing pause on our lives and taking time to actually reflect and think about what we're doing and where we're going and like all that stuff. So I found that life is very chaotic. It can happen at a very fast pace and we don't really have time to sit down, press pause on all the chaos and actually reflect on everything that's happening, everything, all our thoughts, our feelings, things that may have come up, maybe our triggers, our trauma, what we need to do to heal our mind or body or both or our spirit, all of that. It's just very chaotic and like it doesn't seem like we really press pause and just sit and be present with ourselves. And from my experience, I believe it's really important to be able to take time off from the chaos of life and just be present with ourselves and just reflect and think. And the reason I'm saying this is because when I was younger, I suppressed or repressed or both. I really just pushed down a lot of my thoughts and feelings and desires and trauma and things that were bothering me because I had to focus on academics. And at the time, I really believed that academics was the top of everything. Like, focus on your studies first and then worry about everything else going on in your life. Because if you fail, then you won't get into uni, and then if you don't get into uni, you won't have a job, and you just like be no one. You be no one, and you have no opportunity. You have no future. Basically, that's what the message was in my head. If you don't do well in school, you basically have no future. That's why I put like that was really ingrained into me, and that was on top of my list, and I neglected my health so I could get good grades in school, especially the last few years of high school. Really bad mental health. My mental health was at like the worst point it has been throughout my entire life. I experienced severe physical medical conditions, yet I still neglected those and focused on getting A's in school so I could get into uni. Because without uni, I won't be able to get a job. That's what I believed, and that really destroyed me. It destroyed me. It was a miserable experience, but again, I believe that academics was the top thing because without good grades, I have no future. This pattern of focusing on academics first also continued into university, especially going to fourth year honors in psychology. When I was in third year, I was told that honors is very competitive and you had to do really well to get into honors because it's a bottleneck. And then again, I really neglected my health and everything just to try and get high distinctions to get into honors. And when I was in honors, I neglected things again so that I could get good grades. So in the future, I would be more successful or like have a high chance of getting to postgraduate psych. It's just my entire life has just been neglecting everything and focusing on academics because without academics there is no future for me. That's not right. It's wrong. Like, it's not like you don't go to uni, you don't do well, and then like your life falls apart and you have no opportunity to like do anything good with your life. Like, that's not true. You can still do stuff. There's always pathways to get to where you want to be. But like that wasn't ingrained into me. The other thing was ingrained into me. Without good grades, you have no future. In fourth year, my gender dysphoria got really, really bad. But again, I focused on academics. And I noticed that while I was seemingly coping, like I was doing well at uni, but I experienced a lot of different manifestations of this repressed trauma and deep psychological issues that that needed to be worked on. So I noticed that I got frustrated with people really easily, even though like they didn't do anything to me. It was me projecting my own frustrations and out onto the person, um, even though they did nothing to me. And it's just like it was coming up my psychological wounds and issues that needed to be dealt with, just kept trying to manifest itself out. But then I kept fighting against it, which then made it worse. And I got really annoyed, angry, irritated at people. I projected onto people, and they definitely did not deserve it. But I realized it was me, like it wasn't the person that made me irritated. I realized it's me and my trauma and my wounds trying to come out and be worked through, because my conscious is like, hey dude, Lev, you need to work through this. Like, you can't just keep running from it. Stop trying to suppress it. It's just like not going to work. You have to confront this sooner or later. You can't just keep running away from it. And it actually takes time. Working through all these issues takes years, to be honest. It takes years. Working through my social anxiety and depression took years. And something that COVID lockdowns made me do was spend more time alone with myself. And through that, I did a lot more self exploration, self reflection, and question things I've been doing. Like, for example, social media habit news. I'm like, how am I currently using social media? How much time am I spending on it? What sort of value am I getting out of it? Um, is there something I need to change? And the answer was definitely yes. And I did try different social media news habits, like only going on after 12 p.m. and not going on after 6 p.m., no social media on weekends. I tried a lot of different things, but none of them seem to work well for me, and I'm still trying to figure that out. But one thing I did do earlier this year was delete my Instagram, which really helped with a lot of things, because I've realized I kept using Instagram to I didn't like to admit this, but like get validation from other people liking my posts. Like, that shouldn't be the way I like that shouldn't be the way I psychologically reward myself. And I felt like I kept posting for others and continue to post for others, but not for me. Like, it was more for others. I'm like, I can't do this anymore. It kept bothering me. I'm like, I can't do this anymore. I deleted my Instagram, and then it gave me 30 days if I want to reactivate it. Otherwise, it'll delete permanently. It deleted permanently. It's been like over 2 months since my account has been gone, and I've never felt any better. And I've spent a lot more time just documenting things for myself, writing things for myself, and not writing it for the sake of being posted. It's a good thing. Like, I don't regret that at all. That's one example. I had to really sit down. I did a lot of mind maps. I'm like, what am I really doing on social media, and what am I getting out of this? And you could think about other things, like for example, I have IBS, and sometimes when I get really stressed or there's a lot of psychological things going on, I realize that my abdominal pain gets worse, and then I get chest pain as well, and sometimes I feel nausea. It's like the mind, the body, the spirit, it all links in very complicated ways. And another example is I got a really bad headache for the past 2.5 weeks until a few days ago when I posted that video about relationships, because that whole thing had been bothering me for months now, or like years, I don't know, a very long time. And it's just been like very deep, and then it just had to come out. And ever since it came out and I verbalized the whole thing, my headache's just like gone. Well, not 100%, but like I'd say 90% gone. And that's like my psychological wounds, trauma, and like issues manifesting itself in a physical way. That's another example. Everything is linked. It's all linked. So what I'm trying to say is, like, first, it's important to sit down, reflect on things, and second, it's also important to not compartmentalize things, like see the domains of your life independently, like okay, family, work, physical health, mental health, emotional well-being. It's best to not see all of these things as like completely independent. I see it as a very large interconnected web. They're all connected in different ways, and you will be surprised how one domain of your life or one area or one aspect can impact other areas, even like sub without you knowing it. It's very complicated. So that's why I got really frustrated with my medical condition when just I just like thought of it as a biological problem, like okay, I have a headache, must be something wrong physically. It's not that simple. It turned out to be a manifestation of my psychological distress. So if you're like trying to figure out something in your life that it's not going right, or you experience this health problem or this mental health concern, whatever it might be, look at the other domains of your life and see how different elements from those domains could affect the overall presenting problem. Like a lot of things may underlie it and we may not realize it's not independent. See things holistically as a whole, not just individual parts independently. And maybe some prompting reflective questions that I use and it might help you. What am I currently doing in X domain? What am I getting out of it? Is this currently working, or do I have to try a different approach? If this thing isn't working, if the way I'm doing things is not working, how can I change it to make it better or work, suit me more, basically? How can I change this to make it better? Or if necessary, do I need this thing? Can I eliminate it from my life? And it's important to get feedback, because if we keep doing the same thing and we don't think about how it's working, whether it's actually working the way we want it to, or we don't think about whether something needs to change to make it better, then we're just gonna keep doing the same thing or like around. We're never gonna learn, and we're never gonna grow, and we're never going to adapt to the world and be the best person we can be. We're not going to adapt to the world in the most optimal way and do what's best for our well-being if we don't know exactly what we're doing and whether it's working or not. That's why feedback and reflection is important, so that if the output is not what we want, we can change the input, and then it can affect the output. Because if we keep putting in the same input, the same output's just gonna come out. So it's just gonna be like a cycle. Same input, same output, nothing's gonna change unless we get feedback, which changes what we input, and then outputs change, and then yeah. That's all the thoughts I have for now. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.